Welcome back to all my subscribers, and if you're new, welcome for the first time. This channel is one that shines the spotlight on indie games right and left, third-party developers or independent developers, and generally the ones at the lower end of the price point, so something that's not going to break your bank or hurt your wallet too much. Today we're going to be looking at One Strike, which is another Qubic game, and honestly, if you've seen any of my reviews in the past, you know that it's been kind of a spotty record, with games that are really worth playing, and games that really might not be. But One Strike, as soon as I queued it up, I held my breath a little bit when I realized it was a Qubic game, but the opening graphics remind me of walking up to one of the original arcade consoles where it's just the big box and there's a big red joystick and two buttons, because honestly that's what this game was made for, and it's really, really appropriate if you're into those kind of retro style and retro play style games. It's super simple. There's really not an intro, there's really not an outro, it's just put your quarter in and you play the game. The basic premise of the game is that back in the day, when people actually used to duel with weapons in like the Edo period, you didn't really have long drawn out battles like in Street Fighter where you exchange thousands of combinations of blows. You pretty much had a death strike or you were dead. In the game, One Strike tried to stay as fundamentally rooted to that one concept as possible. And in so doing, besides the D-pad or the joystick, what have you, the only buttons are the left bumper, which is to dodge backwards, the A button, which is to attack, or the B button, which is to block. And that's it. That's the whole of the gameplay. But as simple as it sounds, as much like paper, rock, scissors as this sounds, it is really, really difficult to get a handle on. But once you do, once you learn the character you're playing with, because they are all slightly different, engaging with the combat is really, really gratifying. Oh my god. I went through multiple characters trying to do the ones I thought looked coolest, trying to do the ones I thought had the coolest style, but then I actually settled on the ninja or the assassin. And we bonded. I mean, the assassin's my boy, and we won every single type of gameplay after that. And you know, it wasn't easy. As soon as you get into an actual groove or a rhythm with your character, that's where the real magic starts happening, because it takes some finesse to feel how quickly your character can react, how long blocks take, how long the attack mechanism takes. And once you figure it out and you find one that fits your actual style of gameplay, which I was kind of thrown for a loop with something so simple actually having something like a finesse or style characteristic to it. As soon as you figure out which one fits you, it's like you can do anything. You can go back to back on these matches and take it to the end. And I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed with it. I do think that this game, though, as a solo player only, would lose its sparkle pretty quickly after you learn your character and start dominating, unless you're someone who wants to be equally as good with all other characters. But thankfully there is a tournament mode, which can be multiple players, and there is an actual multiplayer and team mode, so you can have friends and just be better than them and own them right and left all the time. And being that the Switch was made to be mobile and have those little disconnect controllers so you can just challenge somebody whenever, that actually is a really great mechanic. And I gotta say, Qubic Games really stepped it up on this one. The settings or the backgrounds are actually randomly assigned as you play through. If you die or start over, you have a decent chance of getting one of the, I think, 6 different possible backgrounds. The music's really not bad, and it does change up per scene, so each scene kind of has a theme and a feel to it, which I really like. And it's just the MIDI kind of genre music that really fits the classic pixel art. And by pixel art, I mean it's really pixelated. It's raw 8-bit pixels. Other than that, like I already talked about, the 3-button control system, it is really intuitive once you get a feel for it, and there's really not much I could complain about. It's, like I said, it's basically paper, rock, scissors to death, so you don't really need more than 3 buttons. When you beat the game, there's not some big, long, drawn-out to-deal to show you, wow, you were amazing. But it does tell you that you just conquered Japan, so that's kind of gratifying. And one thing it took me actually beating the games a couple times to realize is that in this ending graphic, it actually highlights your characters that you've completed certain types of playstyles through in green, and other characters that you haven't in red. And this is not only for each character, but each type of game mode as well as each difficulty setting. So if you are a completionist and you want to get all those screens to be green, that might actually take you quite a while. But I gotta say, that'd be some bragging rights, because I've only played it on normal mode and it is difficult. But again, really satisfying. For $2.49 on the eShop, if you're a fan of classic style arcade games, fighting games, or even paper, rock, scissors, you're probably going to enjoy this one. And even though it's really quick to beat and may lose its shine soon if you're not playing with more than one person, it's still worth having, honestly, it really is, because I mean, on that off chance you actually have a friend, you can challenge them to this game and kick their butt in one move, and I mean, just imagine how frustrated they'd get. I'm sorry, that just makes me happy thinking about it, because I've got so many friends and I want to go kick their butts, like right now. Well, that wraps up the review for One Strike, and honestly, it's a game that really surprised me, and I'm really happy that I downloaded it. Anyway, if you found the review helpful, interesting, or at least entertaining, feel free to throw me a like to show your support, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest content. I do put these videos out almost every other day, so keep coming back for new content, or feel free to hit that little bell icon so that you get notified as soon as I upload a new video.